Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us for another episode of From Sacko to Shiva with Chase, Tom, and sometimes Anthony. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the return of Josh Gordon, our thoughts on the state of the Chiefs, Eagles, Jimmy Garoppolo, and the disaster in New York. All right, let's get to it.
All right, what should we start on, though?
Return of Josh Gordon. Over, under. 1 or 2 weeks before he's suspended again? 2 weeks. 2 weeks over, under.
I actually think he doesn't get suspended.
Oh, yeah. What?
I think he's learned his lesson.
How many times does he have to
burn you? The fact that he was on the 30 for 30, coming out saying there wasn't a single game he played that he wasn't under the influence, I think he's really trying to show maturity and trying to show that, hey, I realize that I don't have a chance to have a career if I don't commit to this now. This is his absolute last shot.
I'll take under 2 weeks, by the way.
I think it's for real. I think that this is what he wants to do, and he realized that they took it away from him once, and he doesn't want that to happen again. Twice.
Listen, this is like you come home, daddy's had a hard day, smacks you around a little bit. Oh, I won't do it again. How many times does he have to do it before you learn? Like, maybe I should leave.
This is it. He does anything again, and he's done for his career. There's no coming back from that one.
They won't even let him, because the way his contract is, they won't even let him go to CFB. So he'd be screwed. All right, so that's enough about Josh Gordon, because that's pretty irrelevant. Let's go to Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco. What do we think about him?
I think they found a quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo. He didn't put up the touchdowns that he wanted, but he didn't miss on his top 2 targets. He completed every single pass he threw to Goodwin and Taylor, I believe.
Not bad.
What was his final stat line? Like 20?
But didn't he still throw like 2 interceptions?
I know for a fact he threw one.
I think it was
292.
He threw 1 interception, and it was his receiver caught it, and it was like ripped instantly out of the defender ripped it out of his hands. So it wasn't even really his fault. It was almost like a mutual catch kind of thing.
He also looked like he learned pocket presence from Tom Brady. Because in all the clips that I saw, he just kind of slid a little bit to the left, stepped up a little bit, and then completed passes. So if he learned that from Tom Brady, I think they found their quarterback.
Yeah, it sucks for San Francisco, who was probably hoping to not win any more games this year. But
I don't think they were hoping that they weren't going to win any more games, because if you have your quarterback in Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't care if you win any more, or if you
yes, you do, and this is why, because you have 2 quarterbacks that are going to go with the top 2 picks in next year's draft. They want a top 2 pick. That's a really good trade value. They can trade them for 3 or 4 picks. They don't need a quarterback, but that's great trade value. They're going to be a top 3 pick team. There's Cleveland, San Francisco, and there's New York right now. They're going to be a top 3 pick team. Why would you not be trying to go for the top 2 picks right now? Those are where the value's at. No, if I'm San Francisco, I'm absolutely tanking, and I don't want Garoppolo starting.
People will still trade up for top 3 pick, because not necessarily every year will a QB go 1 and 2.
Absolutely, but this year the top 2 picks have way more value than the third pick.
Because I predict Barkley will go 2nd or 1st overall, because he is the best athletic talent and football talent in the draft.
The only problem I have with that assessment is, the running backs have lost a ton of value in the last 5 or 10 years.
Except for Zeke. Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette. I'm just Melvin Gordon.
You have to be a really franchise-changing running back. And then to still go that early isn't
Barkley,
really...
If you look at what everybody's saying, and even if you watch him, he is the most transcendent running back since Damian Tomlinson is what
Where
they were
did
saying.
McCaffrey go? McCaffrey went 17th through 20th, and people thought that was really
McCaffrey
high.
went top 10, I thought.
Yeah, and people
12?
were like...
Was he 12?
People were thinking that was crazy, but it's because Carolina thought he was a franchise-changing player.
I don't think McCaffrey was a franchise-changing player. And
they believe that.
Well, he's the smaller type scat back that is going to have problems with some of the defenses in the NFL. Barkley is a big dude that runs really hard and
Barkley
fast.
can do it all, though.
Yeah, he is.
I think he reminds me of LT.
Well, the question we have with Garoppolo in San Francisco is, if they found a quarterback and they're sitting with the number 2 pick, how many picks can they get for that pick, knowing that they have already gotten their
3
quarterback?
or 4 easy.
No, I understand that, but at the same time, if you're sitting at 3, and who would have the number 2 pick at that? So
New York, because Cleveland's number 1. Cleveland's getting the number 1 pick. Yeah.
All right. So, do you think New York's going to go on ahead and draft now that they fired Ben McAdoo? Draft a QB?
I do. I mean, Eli's getting older.
You have to.
Geno Smith is not the answer. Webb is a developmental guy. The guys in this, the quarterbacks in this upcoming draft are way better than anything they have on the roster.
Either that or trade, because there's
and
Jacoby
also,
Brissett's probably earned himself a spot on a roster.
And if I'm San
when Luck
Francisco,
comes back.
yeah, well, Jacoby Brissett's with Indy.
I know,
Okay.
but when Luck comes back, it's his team. I'm saying Jacoby Brissett's going to start somewhere. I think he's earned that. I think he's really showcased himself.
Well, we can get on to Andrew Luck later because I don't even know if he plays another snap.
Yeah, that's getting questionable there.
But look at it this way: if I'm San Francisco and I have my QB, Carlos Hyde becomes a free agent this year, I believe. Why? Like, if you can get Barkley, I'd rather have Barkley than Hyde.
Well, now my next question is, and I'm just thinking down the line in the draft, is a team like Buffalo. They already have 2 first-round picks. Do you package those 2 picks, move up to number 3, and hopefully grab one of those?
That won't be enough, and I don't think they do that. I was actually talking with Anthony about this. I think Buffalo packages those 2 picks or uses one of them to take Baker Mayfield in the top 20.
He's ridiculous, by the way. Mayfield's not going until day 2.
It's ridiculous that he's throwing 68% completion right now.
He's 71 this year.
He's playing at a high level in college right now.
And not just that. What was the other stat we were saying? His the other day he 30% of his passes the other day were touchdowns.
Yeah, he's been playing awesome.
Like, man, the guy's
the best
animal
player
and he's
efficiency rating of any player in college football history.
He's been out of his mind playing.
So, if I'm Buffalo or the Jets, I'm looking at Baker Mayfield in the first round.
He's not going in the first round.
There's going to be 5 or 6 quarterbacks that all get pushed into the first round because teams in that back half are looking to get there and get a quarterback that they need.
Teams in the back half generally have good quarterbacks.
Denver needs a quarterback.
Well, they're not in the back half.
No,
they're in the middle of the pack.
Right.
At the same time, Denver could easily grab Baker Mayfield, but I think if you're Buffalo, I think Baker Mayfield fits your system. I think if you're the Jets, I think that's a great player to start building your team around.
I think you overvalue what he can do in college to what he can do in the NFL.
Russell Wilson.
First of all, there's very few guys that come from an air raid offense that transition well.
What blows my mind about this is you're a bigger OU fan than me.
I know.
I'm not even a real
his
OU
weaknesses
fan.
are real. Like the fact that he's always looking for the home run, and there's so much tape of him just having so many open guys, and he just runs around in the pocket because he doesn't want to throw to those guys. He wants to look for the home run every time. That's a real thing. He's not tall enough. He does have the arm. He does have the accuracy.
I was like, that's what I was going to bring up. I was like, didn't you tell me he's one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the deep ball?
His off-field issues are real. It's going to take.
I know that's why he wouldn't. That's why
off.
He wouldn't be okay if he didn't have any off-field issues. He would be a top 10 pick, easy. But the off-field issues, I think he goes in the top 20.
I bet you right now he doesn't go day 1.
Is that a push-up bet? Water bet? What are we doing?
That'll be a cash bet. I don't know. If we're doing top 20, I'll do a cash bet.
I'm trying to find the quarterbacks.
Which kind of wants to the quarterbacks you got Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Josh Rosen, and Baker Mayfield are all projected to be top 5 or top
Lamar Jackson.
First round. Oh, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is not projected to be first round right now. But the other 4, even Baker Mayfield.
Josh Rosen and Sam Darnold.
No, actually even Baker
that are going top 2.
Rosen, Darnold and Allen are top 2, but Rosen and Mayfield are actually both projected in the first round right now.
I just looked up Pro Football Focus, their quarterback rankings after week 13, and their number 1 guy. Who is that?
Baker Mayfield.
Well, yeah, that's because he's about to win the Heisman. He's about to be the only walk-on ever to win a Heisman.
Number 2.
Lamar Jackson.
Number 3. Anybody want to take a guess?
These are your college football rankings, by the way. Yeah. Lamar Jackson's number 2 for the Heisman. This is not projected draft.
No. This is just Pro Football Focus's rankings for the top.
And that's because Baker's about to win a Heisman, and Lamar Jackson just got better after his Heisman winning season.
This guy I've never heard of. Plays for West Virginia. Will Grier.
You know somebody who I'm actually interested about, and this is weird because I saw how much of a competitor he was the other day in the Saints-Carolina game. Taysom, what's his name? Taysom Hill?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this kid gets drafted late by the Saints, right? Payton says he's their future and all that. The kid has the fastest QB 40 time at the combine ever, and it was a 4.22 40. Or no, a 4.4 440 for a QB, which is ridiculous. So he was begging Sean Payton to get on the field, so he put him on there on special teams, and he made the tackle. He was the only person, he was the first one down the field and made the tackle. I was like, this guy is just athletic. And I guess there was talk that they were going to switch him to safety, but I was just like, but Sean Payton says that's his QB of the future. I was like, really? I was like, wow. It just kind of blew me away that this kid, okay, if that's your QB of the future, you can put him on there on special teams.
Michael Vick, Cordell Stewart, that kind of play.
Yeah.
So, get to the edge and just let him run.
So while we're talking about Sean Payton, you guys want to talk about Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
What's there to talk about? The guy's ridiculous. Him and Ingram. They're combined over 3,000 yards from scrimmage right now.
Yeah, I mean, they've been playing fantastic. The 1-2 punch is keeping everybody off balance.
I think they have 21 rushing and receiving touchdowns between the two of them this year.
Guarantee Kamara goes first round PPR formats next year.
Yeah, completely. I think so too.
I'm still standing by what I said a month ago and all that. Kamara is my offensive MVP. Or for rookie.
He's definitely rookie of the year right now.
No, he's definitely rookie of the year. Third, yeah.
He's only the third rookie to have 600
NFC,
rushing and 600 receiving yards. Only the third rookie ever to have 600 rushing, 600 receiving yards. One of the other ones was Billy Taylor, and I forgot who the other one was.
That's still impressive as shit. And there's still time to go.
He's averaging over 8 yards per touch.
How does he have 600 rushing yards? He doesn't rush that much.
It doesn't matter. He's efficient.
Jesus.
70 yards here, 120 yards there.
How is Kamara rushing like that?
Before the game the other day, Christian McCaffrey had touched the ball, I think, 30 or 40 more times than Kamara.
McCaffrey's going nowhere. He's getting 2 yards per carry.
Yeah, but the thing was he touched it 30 or 40 more times or for rushes, and Kamara had 250 more rushing yards than him, 200 more rushing yards than him, because it was 457 and all that. Or no, yeah, it was ridiculous.
It's not even like thunder and lightning. They just, whatever play is called, either one of them executes it, and they're getting huge chunks of yards.
Sean Payton is just really good at.
Are they the best running back duo in NFL history?
Man, that's
I know it's swinging a huge bat, but
well, there was one year when Priest Holmes and Larry Johnson played together.
What was interesting, and they actually posted this the other day, the last time a running back duo was this effective was O.J. Simpson and whoever this other.
I couldn't even tell.
Little or something like that.
How about
Taywan Little or something?
Larry Zonka and was it Mercury Morris? That's back in the day.
They were saying
those are some old school ones, though.
They were saying this was the most efficient at since O.J. Simpson. All right, so let's get onto a topic I'm kind of interested about. Eli Manning and Ben McAdoo getting fired, which we all saw Ben McAdoo getting fired. He mishandled
made it sound
that.
like Eli got fired.
Well, no,
Eli benched.
Eli getting benched, and then Eli now being named the starter again. Is that the right move?
Has he officially been named the starter? Because I've just read that
he was officially named the starter.
Okay, well, who's the interim coach?
I don't think it's been named yet.
Yeah, I don't think it's been named.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, right? Jerry Reese, their GM, got fired. He's gone. Ben McAdoo, the head coach, got fired. He's gone. Now you got Manning there, who was benched last week, that stopped his 210 Ironman streak at quarterback. Geno Smith didn't show a whole lot of good to him.
They gave him the option to keep that streak.
Yeah.
He didn't show a whole lot of bad either.
I would have done, anybody would have done the same thing if you're a true competitor like Eli. You're not going to, don't start me just to keep my streak. Just to bench me right after the first snap.
Yeah, I mean, if they come to me and say, we're going to bench you, but do you want to keep your streak alive by playing a play? I'm like, no. I mean, let's make this professional.
And I bet that's exactly how Ben McAdoo said it, too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
God.
I'm sure.
So this is weird, because they said, we're not going to make any changes till the season's over. And then they do make the change, which made no sense because you know already Geno Smith is not your guy of the future. So if you're going to lose,
He didn't seem terrible.
No, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't great.
Clearly not the future.
Yeah,
he's a backup quarterback at best.
And that is one of the problems in the NFL is if you don't have that young quarterback, you're not going to prepare for next year with something like this. It's not going to help your team out to try and find, is Geno Smith the answer for next year? I think we've all seen enough of Geno Smith to know that he's not the answer next year.
So why did this happen? Because it's not like any of this was new. The owners were even saying like they supported benching Eli and that they weren't going to make any changes, and then suddenly he's fired, and so is the GM.
I think it's because of all the bad press that McAdoo got for the way he handled the Eli Manning benching, because he had it set up that when Eli Manning went down to his locker, that the press was there. Eli didn't know about it until he got there. They already knew.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why Eli was like,
wow.
He was or like fighting back tears, like when all this is happening, and they're like asking him all these questions, like, "Is this the hardest thing that's ever happened to you?" Yes,
he had
is.
to have known.
No,
because
he went
they
down
asked
there.
him a question about him starting, and he said, "No, I've talked to."
Well,
He said, "I've talked to
the
coach
original.
about it."
No, he already had the conversation with Ben McAdoo, but the offensive or the coaching staff and all that had a presser and all that set up at his locker that he didn't know about the presser. So he went down to his locker, and he's just bombarded by this.
Oh, right after he's told.
And
Right
he
after
started
he's told.
tearing up and balling in that
So he did know.
interview.
Yeah, he knew he was getting benched, but like he didn't know about the the press
Okay.
going to be. I was like, that's not. You need to give him time to like take that in and like don't. I was like, this guy's won you 2 Super Bowls. Yeah, he hasn't been the greatest QB. Yeah, his stats are very much compared to Joe Flacco if you look at it over his career.
He's terrible.
But I mean, the guy still got you 2 Super Bowls. You need to give him. He deserves more respect than that.
He definitely deserves more respect. My question is, do you think he gets into the Hall of Fame?
No, he doesn't deserve the whole thing.
Depends on how much you value Super Bowl rings.
Honestly, I don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame, but I think he gets in
Because of his name.
because of his name and the Super Bowl rings.
I don't think he should.
I don't think so. So here's my question. So Eli, I believe, is a free agent after this year,
I don't know.
or I think they have an option. So if Eli can leave and does leave, do you think Coughlin tries to bring him to Jacksonville?
That's what everyone's saying is Jacksonville or bust.
Well, I mean, he knows Coughlin. Coughlin made him a great quarterback while he was there.
Because I mean, this kind of brings me back to the Baker Mayfield. I'd like to see Mayfield even in Jacksonville too. Like I think that would be a good fit for him. It would.
I like Baker Mayfield in Jacksonville, number one. Number two, it feels like, God, if I'm a Jacksonville fan, this is depressing. Because your franchise is finally on the rise. You're 1 weak spot. You got to be like the most complete team in football right now, in my opinion. Your team's on the rise,
Except
and then
for quarterback,
you're about to bring in Eli Manning.
But Bortles has been
Back
playing
to the
well.
dark days. Back to the dark days.
Yeah. But Bortles is playing really well the last few weeks.
Bortles
3 games
is going up against 11-man boxes. Like crazy shit.
Yeah, and Marquise Lee is finally stepping up like he should.
Yep.
All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Eagles loss last night.
I think we should just let Chase take this segment.
No, I'm biased, so
That's all right. It's good to have your opinion on
I
this.
missed half of the game due to
I feel like people are going to
family
overreact. Like,
emergency, but
the Eagles are like only have 2 losses now, same as the Patriots, same as the Steelers. But I feel like in power rankings, you're gonna see all those teams jump them. You're gonna see like the Vikings jump them, the Patriots, Steelers,
I could see the Vikings jump on the power rankings. But
the Rams.
my thing is
I feel like people are gonna overreact to this.
There was a couple
Seattle,
bad calls, and on both sides, there was a defensive PI that was called on Ron Darby that I'm not sure how. Like I'm not an official, but I'm pretty sure if you and the wide receiver are both running right next to each other, and you're the cornerback, and you turn and see the ball is coming, and you decide not to play the receiver and play the ball, that's not pass interference, but they call it pass interference. But then later on, Ron Darby full-on face masked Paul Richardson on a play, and they didn't call that. So I was like, but
Make a call.
I'd rather them have call the PI on him than when they did, because it was 2 different field positions, and it set them up for a go-ahead touchdown the next drive.
like it's upsetting that the game wasn't as close, like wasn't closer. But like losing to a team like Seattle who can beat anyone on any given day, you know, like Russell Wilson's a fucking wizard.
Yeah,
We all know that.
Russell
Yeah, I
Wilson
agree.
deserves all the credit in that game. However, there was one thing that really made me mad, because Peterson should have challenged it. The ref should have flagged it. That lateral pass, it was not a lateral. Like, it did not go backwards at all. It was a forward pass, and what was it, Davis or McKissick ran up and caught he was 10 yards down the field. Like, Russell Wilson ran the ball 10 yards down the field and shuttle passes it to the right. and it's a forward pass, and the refs didn't call it, and then another 15 yards happened after that.
Yeah, that was a crazy play.
Right as Russell Wilson was about to get smeared.
Can we talk about that, like, Carson Wentz play?
The 54-yard pass?
51-yard pass?
So on 816podcasting.com, I did a little write-up on Sunday Night Football. Carson Wentz had 48 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
He struggled in the first half. They played a very, very, very conservative offense in that first half. And I think that affected them for the rest of the game.
You know what was crazy is they should have stuck with the run more in the first half, because in the first quarter, I think they had 60 yards rushing on Seattle, and then they went away from it.
Yeah, you can rush on Seattle these days.
And I was like, the one thing is they shouldn't have been using Blunt. Seattle eats up those big bruising backs. Ajayi would have excelled in that game, and that's who I thought was going to excel. And they didn't use it, and I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, he got like 9 rushes,
and
Blount got 8.
The first in the first half, Carson Wentz only threw one pass further than 11 yards, and he overthrew it to Nelson Aguilar, incomplete. Nelson Aguilar was wide open. It would have been it was a 25-yard pass.
He missed him a
and
couple
he would have
times.
had at least 10 yards after catch. And it was essentially he made that same pass in the second half, but it was a crossing route over to the left side. But I do want to touch on that pass you were talking about, that 51-yard pass.
There's no way he meant to do that, right?
No, I think he did.
He's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen in my life if he meant to do that. He was falling down, running to the right, falling down, throws it. It looks, to me, I thought he tried to throw it away.
No.
It perfectly lands in Aguilar's arms, 51 yards away.
He's stumbling, has his eyes down to while he's trying to get his footing, and then he gets his, doesn't even get his footing. He gets his body weight up, and as soon as he gets his shoulders up above his hips,
squared,
he looks downfield, and has what was it, Everett or somebody, Griffin wrapped around his ankles, and he's just all arm strength.
Yep.
All arm strength. And on that pass, I think they said 46 yards of that pass was air yards.
If he meant to do that, that is the most mind-blowing.
We've seen it happen in past games.
It was probably a broken pattern that it was Aguilar, right? Yeah, it was Aguilar that probably recognized that it was going to be a little bit short, so he made the correction and went and grabbed it. Which, Aguilar, that's what he's been doing all season long, is making plays from the slot.
Yeah, and the thing is he's not just like Aguilar. Like I said earlier, the only thing I think that's going to keep Jeffrey fantasy point wise above Aguilar is he has 7 touchdowns. But I still think Nelson Aguilar finishes with more receiving yards and more receptions than Jeffrey. And, don't get me wrong. I know we just signed Jeffrey to extension, and I think it was a great move. It was a decent signing. It wasn't a ridiculous, guarantee or anything like that. And the way they structured it is, in 2020 and 2021 are both franchise team options. So you can cut him right then, depending on how it is. However, there's injury guarantees in each year of his contract, which,
for a player like Alshon Jeffrey, that's a great thing.
That was a good contract. That was a win-win, in my opinion.
I think because essentially, if something goes bad, it's a 2-year contract, and he doesn't get the $26 million guaranteed. However, over 4 years, $26 million guaranteed, $54 million contract. I think it was a great contract, and you had to give Howie Roseman probably executive of the year, because the moves he's made, I was like, last year my favorite move that he made was trading from, I think, 99th overall pick in the third round to, I think it was 120th in the third for Timmy Jernigan. He swapped third round picks and gets Timmy Jernigan.
Had to pay his contract, but that's not a big deal at that point.
I was like, that's a great move. I was like,
Jernigan played well too. He's
been playing well.
Yeah. The other thing I'll mention this in this game, because like I said, I did the write up. Number 55 for both teams on the defensive side of the ball were all over the place.
Graham,
not Bennett. Frank Clark. For Seattle, and Graham.
BG. Yep.
They both went to Michigan, and they both wore number 55 for Michigan.
The one thing, Brandon Graham doesn't have those sexy sacks. He's not a sack leader or anything like that. But if you pay attention to how much he's pressured, if you just off of pressures and all that, he's the number 1 defensive end in the league.
But
he disrupts more than any other defensive end.
Both teams had no answers for either of those defensive guys. Those guys, Graham and Frank Clark, were in the backfield
I disagree
all
with that.
day long.
Seattle did have an answer for Brandon Graham, and that's Russell Wilson.
Well, yeah,
Like,
I mean, the magician.
The most elusive quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
Like, and it's crazy.
Graham ended up with 2 sacks, and that's like 4 sacks or 6 sacks against any other quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean, the thing is it's Russell Wilson, and that's not going to do it. And I think the one thing is even with that shitty O-line and up against the number one run defense and number one and a top 6 pass defensive line, Russell Wilson can make still expose that weak secondary. Mm-hmm. And Jalen Mills is the weakest point in that secondary unit because he was getting beat all night. He was just was lacking effort on some of those plays. I was like, dude, you got to step it up. Anthony's over here about to fall asleep. So we're going to move it on. Eagles lost.
Yeah, it was a great game. I wish it would have been a little bit closer, but, Seattle got the win. Eagles took the loss. They're still a good team. No need to worry either way about either team. Let's get...
You know what this game did, though? It made the MVP race interesting.
Yeah.
That's all it did.
Yeah, it did.
Just like I've been saying.
Now it's opinion. Now it's anybody's opinion.
Yeah. However, I will say Tom Brady didn't really what Carson Wentz lacked in that game. Tom Brady also lacked in his game, so they kept it right there because Tom Brady threw 1 interception and no touchdowns.
I don't think anyone. I'm saying it's a competitive race now.
I'm just saying nobody Russell Wilson definitely entered himself in the conversation with 3 touchdown passes.
Read on Bleach Report, Case Keenum should be in the conversation.
I don't know about that.
It's hard to argue with it.
There is an argument for it just because he's been leading that team to all these wins and putting up really good numbers. But
has he been leading the team? That team's just so talented everywhere you look. And
it's like Jacksonville. It's built very similar to Jacksonville.
Far and few between is the Vikings down. And it's exactly like Mike Zimmer said. Case Keenum, with the way their team plays, Case Keenum doesn't have to go out and make plays he can't make.
Right. I mean, that's
playing.
smart.
He's playing within his strengths. Case Keenum.
Well, it could also be just because if you remember, Case Keenum had a good year in Houston before he went over to L.A. Or I think it was St. Louis at the time with Fisher. And I think Fisher just killed him and Goff.
Yeah, we all know Fisher kills any offensive that he touches.
I think Case Keenum had a bad year with Fisher, and I'm if you take away any pre-existing if you take away Keenum's past and just judge him on this year, you almost have to put him in the MVP conversation.
No, I can see that. He's going to be in the conversation, but he's not going to win it.
No, of course not. But he should be in the conversation.
It's going to... I'm still saying it's going to be...
It's a 3-man race.
I think it's...
It is. It's a 3-man race.
I think Russell Wilson probably catapulted himself into 2 or 1 at this point.
Russell Wilson, in the write-up on 816podcasting.com, Russell Wilson is responsible for 29 of the 30 offensive touchdowns for his team.
He
also leads his team in rushing attempts by 2.
He's a one-man show.
Yep. And he has 200 more rushing yards than anybody else on the team.
And what's crazy, if you look, he does that in half the attempts from anybody else on the team.
Well, it's always easier for a QB to be more efficient on running the ball than it is for running back. Because any QB that is mobile is always going to have 7+ yards per carry, and it's just because no defense can always key on the QB running.
I'm just saying though, with the injuries to that defense and that O-line being as terrible as it always is, they have no business being where they are right now, being in playoff contention. It's hard to imagine a world where they miss it, and it's all Russell Wilson. Honestly, Eagles have a really good team. Patriots have a really good team.
Honestly,
in Seattle, you have one man, and he's fucking putting you on his back and carrying the show.
I think the only team that could have beat the Eagles right now was Russell Wilson. It's not even the team; it's Russell Wilson, and it's because any other team that doesn't have a mobile QB, I think the Eagles would have beat because they would have had so much pressure, and
I don't know about that.
No run game.
It's hard to say the only team. You face someone against the Steelers, the Patriots, Minnesota. Saints, any other elite team, I think
it's a much closer game.
Sure, but you can't say that for sure the Eagles beat all those teams handily just because they don't have a mobile quarterback.
Yeah, but okay, I would give the Eagles a 50-50 and all those other ones against Russell Wilson.
It's always easier for the pass rushers to get to a standstill quarterback than to get to a quarterback that's like Russell Wilson that's mobile, can flip around, reverse, run up a little bit, then jump back a few yards and then take off. So, I mean, he always gives his team, Russell Wilson always gives his team a chance to win any game that he's in.
All right, so here's something else I want to get to. Suspensions. All right. Rob Gronkowski.
Deserved it.
I think he deserved 2 games.
I mean, I would say 2 games too.
And like, I mean, even with an appeal, a solid, 2 games,
I would
no
say if the dude is in a concussion protocol and misses 2 games, Gronk should get those 2 games also.
No, I completely agree with that because it's something I've been saying for years that I feel like if you intentionally try and hurt another player, however many games that player is out, you should be suspended for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I think that would cause a lot of people because I
feel like that should be like a special kind of penalty. Or if you get 3 of them, you're banned from the NFL for life because there's such a dirty play kind of penalty.
Perfect would have been gone his rookie year.
And he should be. He absolutely should be. But that's the kind of play where you're just trying to hurt somebody. That should be a special kind of penalty, and that's the first strike against Gronk. But if you get 2 more, you're gone for good from the NFL.
One, I don't think if you rewatch that, there was no push off by White. Yeah, his hand was there, but it was his fingers were just grazing Gronk. You can't push Gronk back. The size difference between those guys, come on, Gronk. I know you tried.
I watched that play so many times. That's as dirty as it gets.
No, for the push?
No, for Gronk hitting him in the back of the head.
Well, Gronk's excuse was he's like that should have been defensive pass interference, and they haven't been calling everything all night. He's like, what am I supposed to do? He's like, they put me in that situation, but I'm sorry. I was like, that's the biggest BS sorry I've ever heard.
Gronk's been trying to get into WWE. I think he
clearly
was in that mindset going into that game.
He wants to get with Ronda Rousey right now.
I mean, it was a dirty play, and
Ronda Rousey's married, about to have a kid, bro.
Well, whatever, who cares? All right, so anyways, the thing is one, not only was the guy defenseless, he was already on the ground, and you're twice his weight. Almost a foot on him,
almost, at least 6 inches, 200 pounds probably.
And
I didn't like that
doing
play.
A elbow drop like WWE on him. Come on, man.
I mean, since we're talking about the Patriots, do you guys know that they have won 10 games for 15 straight years?
Yeah, you told me earlier.
Yeah,
but how crazy is that? Think about that.
They're the mark of excellence. They're the San Antonio Spurs of the NFL.
There's a reason why Tom Brady has 5 Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, that's a nuts, crazy
stat. Tom Brady, man. Must be nice.
And then pieces all along the way.
I'll still take Tim Duncan and Greg Popovich over Brady and Belichick.
They're just consistently great. How good must it be to be born in Boston?
Right.
They haven't seen a losing season in how long?
Yeah.
I mean that's like a whole generation have never seen the Patriots have a losing season.
The Spurs haven't won less than 50 games since 1999, and they only didn't win there because it was a shortened season, but they were on pace to. They would have won 56 or something if it was a regular season.
The mark of excellence.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No, it's insane. Must be nice.
Oh, however, I've been saying for a while, Rex Burkhead, I still think is the back to own in that offense. Just because
it was all Dan Lewis, so
Lewis got the yardage and Burkhead's got the touchdowns.
Yeah. Burkhead has 4 touchdowns in 2 games.
I think Lewis has 250 yards.
Mike Gelsey, beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Okay,
4 touchdowns, 2 games.
If you look at Burkhead's efficiency over the last couple of weeks, it's more than just.
Listen, there's no doubt that Rex Burkhead is the most talented back, but Bill Belichick cycles through backs. He's not going to just stick with one.
And Lewis wasn't getting involved in the pass game, which is kind of what the thing
which is weird because that's usually his role.
Yeah.
If you look at if you can Lewis's rushes compared to Rex Burkhead's touches, just combined touches, they were even. They were 50-50. I think it was 14-14.
Yeah, so I'm saying 50-50.
If
Bill Belichick's never going to stick with one back because then he feels like he's giving you his game plan, or you can game plan for that. He's never going to use just one guy.
I agree with that, but I'm always going to take the guy that is in the red zone, and that's Burkhead right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's easier to get those points quicker if he scores touchdowns than the other way.
Yeah.
Speaking about running backs, trivia question. Frank Gore just became the 5th leading rusher in NFL history.
Jeez.
Do you know who he pushed out of the rankings?
You actually made a bet for him to break that months ago, 2 months ago, and he just now broke it.
Yep,
that's rough.
Anybody know who it is?
We could just start throwing
He's
names
in the
out
Hall
there.
of Fame.
LT.
Recently.
LT.
Well, they have to be in the Hall of Fame. They're top 5.
LaDainian Tomlinson. He pushed out LaDainian Tomlinson.
Oh, what a dick.
Right now, Gore has 13.
I felt like that was it the whole time, and I was like, I said it, but I was just like, man, I'm trying to like look at the little like decal in my head of the top 4, and I was just like, man,
13,697 yards right now. Woo. If he plays at the current level that he's going, he could move up one more spot by the end of the season.
Is he like 32, 33?
I have a question.
Old man for running.
Is he first ballot Hall of Famer?
With the
absolutely.
yards, he has to be, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's been crazier things to happen.
I mean, he's never going to catch the top 2, I don't think. But
like
he could
Ocho
get
Cinco
into
being
third.
left out?
Ocho Cinco, Terrell Owens.
Terrell
Owens had a lot of off-field issues, so I can see that. But,
but
if you look at his on-field
numbers are insane.
if you compare his numbers compared to Favre's, like he actually trumps Favre in every category. Like I know it's 2 different positions, but
but you're talking about like position rank for like
yeah.
But
I'm talking about like Pro Bowl appearances and all that, like championships.
But he was Terrell Owens was also really, really rough on the media, and now he needs that media that he pissed off to go in and vote for him, and that's where you're going to run into problems with Owens.
There's flaws with everything, just like there's flaws with the college football
doesn't matter
playoffs.
about like you upset people. Like to me, like if you don't put Terrell Owens in the Hall of Fame, then the Hall of Fame means nothing. It means it's a hoax.
Clearly because Eli Manning is going to be in the Hall of Fame before Terrell Owens.
No, Eli Manning is definitely going to make it
unless Terrell Owens dies in the next
garbage.
3 years. Like Terrell Owens is not going to make the Hall of Fame.
Here's another milestone that was hit this week.
He's only got one more chance.
Yeah, Larry Fitzgerald became the 6th player in history with 15,000 receiving yards.
Mr. Consistency.
He moved into the 4th all-time, just ahead of Isaac Bruce.
Oh, St. Louis Rams.
Yep.
I grew up loving Isaac Bruce and Terry Holt and Kurt Warner.
Yeah, greatest show on turf.
Right.
Does Fitzgerald
Marshall Faulk. How did I not say Marshall Faulk?
Amazing. Fitzgerald in the Hall of Fame? First ballot?
Oh, sure. Yeah, 100%.
First ballot. That's what I think, too.
I love his 30 for 30, too, coming up.
You know, a really good 30 for 30, or a football life one was the Michael Vick one. I don't know if you all watched it, but that was a brilliant one. Like, because you really get to see the highs and lows, like even Leavenworth and all that. I was like, man, I like that one. That was one of the most like surreal ones watching.
Has anybody seen him on the sidelines for Kansas City?
No,
because he was a coach in the off season.
Oh no, he's not. He's actually a broadcaster for CBS, I think, or NFL Network now. He's like the bottom of the barrel broadcaster too. Like, so he's only on local televisions. He's not
Tony Romo good.
Tony Romo, man, like not just like his ESP he has going on, but just his personality for it. Like he's so unbiased, and on top of that, you really get to see like he's breaking down plays as a QB for you, and he's breaking down defenses as a QB, and you're like really seeing it for, like, because I know there's all these other QBs that are
he's making the viewers more knowledgeable.
Yeah, but I was like, he really is really just touching the viewers.
Tony Romo is one of the guys that I look forward to listening to a broadcast from, because not only does he do the basic offense, but he gives you a look through the quarterback's eyes on top of it. So he's giving you two similar, I don't know what you say, views of the same thing. One for the common person and one for the guy who's just trying to look a little bit deeper. And that's what I love about Tony Romo.
And not to mention, he just has the personality too. Like he had, like, you know, if he like re-signed, like there's no way he ever like re-signed to play in the NFL again, because they're paying him a shit ton of money.
Apparently, he said like he would never re-sign because like he's like, well, then Peyton Manning will come get my
that's
job.
what I was gonna say.
And then I'll never be able to come back.
Yeah,
I mean, he doesn't have to. He's doing a fantastic job of what he's doing now, and it seems that he really likes breaking down the plays and doing it. So I mean, I think it's a great thing.
He said his Mondays are much better.
All right, so I have a question for you guys. So Drew Brees is on his last year of his contract. probably doesn't get re-signed to the Saints, is what I'm thinking.
I think he does. Like, I'm shocked that everyone thinks Drew Brees is
I think he re-signs without question.
I don't, because I don't know if they're going to, like, obviously on your last contract, it's his last contract of his life.
They have a team that like, can compete right now.
And you know what team I think is going to try and make a hard push for him? Cardinals.
Okay. I don't think the Saints let him walk.
Yeah, I don't think the Saints let him walk, but I mean
they have a team that can compete right now,
letting him walk.
And they don't have
gives him the better offer.
They don't have.
That's his home right now.
Yeah,
that's where he is. I mean, that's where he wants to be.
He's got a family and stuff to uproot.
We'll see how it plays out, but like, man,
I'll bet you on that one too.
That one you'll probably be right on. Well, I forget what the other bet was.
You said Baker Mayfield was going top 20.
Oh yeah, that one you're gonna be wrong on.
No,
unless he gets injured, he's going top 20.
He's not getting injured, and he's not going top 20.
He's going top 20.
All right, what's the bet?
Is it water or is it push-ups?
I'll do 100 push-ups on that one.
All right, 100 push-ups. Baker Mayfield top 20.
It's a bet. Baker Mayfield top 20.
Witness.
All right, so
get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna be like so pissed.
I'm an OU fan, Boomer Sooner, baby.
He's gonna go 21st now. I'm like, mother.
Yeah, you're gonna lose by one.
He's gonna go early day too.
All right, seeing as we're an 816 podcast, let's get down to the brass tacks and talk about the Chiefs.
All right.
Yeah, I knew you
guys
were gonna bring this.
I don't really want one. You can't bench Alex Smith. You're still in the playoff hunt, and he's not the problem. Because look at how well he did the other day. That was crazy. Like, that guy was strapping on his backpack to carry that team. And the problem or one of the problems is Bob Sutton. Like, I don't understand that. I know some people were sitting there saying Andy Reid should be fired by Monday. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. I was reading that on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And
to those people, I say, do you remember the pre-Andy Reid dark times? Do you remember what that was like?
Apparently
why would you fire Andy?
I was like, Andy Reid has brought them to the playoffs every year he's been with them.
No, 1 year. We missed 2013,
which is first year,
or 2014. No, it was the second year. No, first year we went 9-0, started 9-0. We didn't finish good after that, but we got a wild card. But no, it was the year after that we didn't.
All right, but here's the one
we were
thing
still
that
like a 10-win team.
Yeah, I think they averaged 10 wins a season while Andy Reid's been in charge.
So Andy Reid did the right thing. He gave up the play calling because in the first half 2 weeks ago, he only gave Kareem Hunt 6 rushes. And then
Magny was taking shots too, man.
Okay, so here's the thing that bugged me. I was like, so in the first half, Kareem Hunt gets 6 touches. So you have the offensive coordinator now taking over the play calling. I was like, all right, Kareem Hunt's going to get going. We got this. He's like, nah, hold my beer. Kareem Hunt, 1 carry first quarter. I was like, really, dude?
Okay, first of all, I talked to you about this. I was happy about that because I've been saying for weeks, Kareem Hunt has such a good start to the season. Everyone's loading the box and daring Alex Smith to beat him, and he can't do it. So I thought we needed to pass first to set up the rush, and that's exactly what Magny came out doing, just pass. And sure enough, they had to respect Alex Smith, and then we could rush.
I understand that, but the thing is okay, now they're respecting the pass because on the first 2 drives, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Why still the first quarter? Why?
Well, first drive because we had a defensive touchdown. But
okay, well, but why still in the first quarter on the second possession you all are up 14-0. Why are you not trying to get Kareem Hunt more involved now?
No, because Kelsey had 2 touchdowns.
We're
14-0.
The first 2 touchdowns were Kelsey.
Yeah, so yeah, it was.
Oh, okay, we definitely had a turnover. I guess it wasn't for a touchdown.
But.
Man, this was yesterday. It's hard to remember.
The problem that I see, it's not Alex Smith. It's not the coaching. It's not the defensive side of the ball.
It's Bob Sutton.
It's the lines. It's the offensive line isn't protecting Alex Smith or giving opening holes for Kareem Hunt, and it's the defensive line for not creating pressure and getting to the quarterback.
All right. So here I've read some mixed things on Facebook from a few of our friends about the Marcus Peters thing. Somebody demanding that we trade him, you all trade him to get a first-round pick back from him. 1, I don't think he's worth a first-round pick. 2, you don't make that move because it's not worth it. But what do you do with the Marcus Peters situation? Because that was crap that he threw the flag off the field and just went to the locker room.
I thought he was ejected too. I was on Marcus Peters' side on that. When the ref throws the hat off, I usually thought that meant that you're ejected.
He didn't even look at. Yeah, as soon as he threw the flag, he started walking. He didn't even see the ref throw the hat off. But at that, he was trying to get ejected. Is my point though? He was intentionally trying to get ejected. And I was like, why? Like, really, man? Like, you're giving up. Like, you're supposed to be a professional. You're supposed to be a competitor. And now you're getting so emotional that you're just going to give up. I get emotional and like when I'm playing basketball or anything like that, but I don't give up. I got my ass beat a couple weeks ago by Anthony playing basketball on a bum knee, and I'm not going to give up on him. I'm going to sit there and take my ass beating like a man.
If I'm Andy Reid in this situation, not the basketball situation, but in the Marcus Peters situation, I sit him down for the first 2 series of the next game, make him learn his lesson.
I'd suspend him a game.
I'm right there with Anthony. I was
you abandon the team,
for the first half
like,
or suspend him the whole game.
Yeah.
Listen, you're together when things are going good. You should be together when things are going bad.
Well, then that brings up the next thing is, if you get rid of Marcus Peters, who's behind him to cover the next guy?
Okay, Marcus Peters.
Yeah, because Darrelle Revis looked completely uninterested.
Yeah, I didn't.
It's not that he looked unengaged.
All right, so here's my thing. Everybody says Marcus Peters is a top corner. He has that sexy stat line of picks. But other than that, he's not a top corner.
How many interceptions does he have, Anthony?
3.
He has 3
I know,
right
I lost
now.
that bet.
Yeah, just checking.
He's extremely aggressive,
but
play style.
The thing is that hurts you more than helps, and like unless you're getting those picks. If you're getting the 8 picks a year, that's great. You're winning games now. But the fact that you're at 3 picks and all you're doing, like there was a play a couple weeks ago, he played just for the ball, completely missed it, gave up a 25-yard play. And I was like, man, like you got to go for the tackle in these situations because you're playing from behind. Like you can't play for the ball when you're playing from behind. You gotta stop them. Like I understand you're trying to make that turnover to get you all like moving again, but man, at this point they're already beating you. Like you need to stop the bleeding and then start.
I get a lot of people's frustration with him right now, and a lot of people will like bashing him because he has given up a lot of big plays, but you can't deny his athletic talent. And like when he's zoned in, he's really good. He is above average corner. He's just, there's too many times that he's too aggressive. Like that play where he went for the ball. Like I was sitting there with you. I know exactly what you're talking about. He could have hit the guy in the backfield, but he went for the ball. He tried to go for the pick six. Yeah. And, yeah, absolutely. But he's still very talented. He can still has room to grow. It's only his 3rd year.
I just don't treat him as a number 1 corner.
Right. And I think he still has room to grow. But now I'm going to bring something up, and I just want to hear what your guys' thoughts on it. Darrelle Revis was an unbelievable corner in his younger days. Now he's struggling a little bit. Do you think they brought in Darrelle Revis to teach Marcus Peters how to be a better coverage corner?
No, I do, and I actually had this conversation with Glenn through text the day they signed him, and you can actually even look at the Darrelle Revis interview that Arrowhead Nation did with him, and he's like, I can teach this young talented kid a lot. He's like, that's one of the things that I loved most about the signing is how much I can teach him, and I understand that. But the thing is what Anthony brought up. Darrelle Revis on the field looked completely uninterested. I think it was like, a lack of effort. I don't even think he's going to be interested to want to teach him. I think that was just all. I think that was a factor, Tom, but I don't think that's why they brought him in. They brought him in because opposite of Peter all year, whether it's Terrence Mitchers, whether it's Acker, we just got Nelson back, but they haven't found anyone who can be alongside Marcus Peters and like play good defense. And like, I mean, Andy Reid said it, like the effort's there. These guys are playing their hearts out for the job, but the production's not. We're just getting burned on that side every week. So I thought they just brought him in to.
So my next question is, I think he played 39 snaps in the first half. Did he get benched for the second half, or did he reach his limit? He
got benched. There was too many missed tackles, too much lackadaisical movement. Yeah, absolutely, he got benched.
That's what I thought too. I thought he definitely got benched.
Being a team captain like that, they stopped Josh McCown one time. I think they punted once. I mean, when you make Josh McCown look like a world beater, Josh McCown looked like the greatest of all time Sunday.
When you got 5 seconds,
you can't downplay Josh McCown's year.
Game. But they made Tyrod Taylor look like a world beater. Okay. They make everyone they play look like a world beater.
I agree with that, but Josh McCown this whole year has been playing above his talent. He's a
Sure.
38-year-old man with a 41-year-old arm,
But
and
he's not
been
that
playing
good.
above his talent. And but the thing is he's been doing it like with a crap team that's supposed to be rebuilding. And I mean, you got to give Josh McCown credit. He's doing it.
He's been playing well all year long, and he's been on.
And I also put blame where it's due on our defense.
No, I understand that, but like Josh McCown has been doing that to a lot of teams. I'm not saying he's a world beater, but I'm saying
he looked like it, didn't he?
He was on fire all day. And here's
Anyone
one of the
that plays
problems.
The Chiefs looks really good.
Didn't he have like 2 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah, 2 rushing touchdowns. If you give any quarterback in the NFL 5 seconds to find the open wide receiver, they're going to hit it 85 to 90% of the time.
Again, it's Bob Sutton. The defense isn't extremely talented. There's a lot of old contracts on that defense that probably should go. However, there is athletic talent on that defense. Like, I think Sorensen's probably one of the most underrated people on that defense.
Well,
like,
he's probably the least athletic, but the guy who gives the most effort every play.
Most effort, and he has a high football IQ. Like, if you pay attention to how he's watching the field, there are some plays you can clearly see that he's supposed to stay in the safety, but he sees something, and you can see him lurk in, drop in the box, and make the tackle in the backfield. And it's just like, I was like, man, that's the type of things that I love watching. I was like, that guy is underrated. I'm not saying he's a top safety in the league. Like, he's probably a top 15 safety, maybe.
I can't believe we're still playing man-to-man.
But
you have to have the right personnel to do that, and to do that every play when it's clearly not working.
You got one.
Jesus
you got
Christ.
one corner in Marcus Peters that could do it, and then you got 4 corners on the other side that can't do it.
But the way they're playing man-to-man is so bad. Like, they're not pressing at the line. They're playing man-to-man 10 yards down the field. Like, I don't get that. You're giving them an automatic first down.
Yeah, I haven't liked it, and that just brings up
on
3rd and 9 or 3rd and 10 every time.
It's 3rd and 4. I'm gonna line up 10 yards down the field because I'm gonna beat you or get 7 yards before you get 4 yards.
So let me ask you guys this question about the Chiefs. There's 3 teams now in the division that are 6-6.
Oakland Chargers.
Yep. Who wins this division? Anthony?
No comment.
So he's got the Chargers.
I'm not going to pick against the Chiefs, so I'm just going to no comment.
Oakland doesn't have the offense or the defense right now.
They have a tough schedule. They have the toughest schedule down the stretch.
So the Chargers has a better defense. And what's crazy is they lost Verrett and who's that other rookie corner they have or whatever, Williams, or second-year corner that they brought, had step up into a starting role and is ranked at the 26th corner so far. Williams, I believe.
I don't know his name.
Across from Casey Hayward. And the thing is like you have a top, because before that, Verrett and Hayward were both ranked in the top 5. Mm-hmm. Now Hayward's still ranked in the top 5, and Williams is top 26, which that's great.
Yep. With that pass rush that they have with Bosa and Ingram, that's always in play.
However, their run defense sucks. Mm-hmm. It's terrible. You can run up the middle on the Chargers all you want. But what's really going to win the division for the Chargers is Keenan Allen.
Been on fire.
Man, I drafted him hoping he was going to have this type of season all year. And he's finally having it right in time for the playoffs. And I'm just like, yes.
3 games of 10 catches or more in a row.
With 150 plus yards in each of those games.
Yep.
I think he had 146. I apologize.
I think it's a record for the streak.
Yeah. And a touchdown in each of those. At least a touchdown.
I think the streak is 140 plus and a touchdown in 3 straight games is what that actual record is.
Yeah.
All right, we're going long. You want to get to waiver wires, Tom?
I'll run them down real quick.
Yeah.
All right. Waiver wires. Marquise Lee.
Yep.
If he's available. Kenny Stills.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cameron Brate with Jameis Winston.
For sure. He's really been stepping up. Marquise Lee's been killing it for me, by the way.
Yeah, I liked him too.
I have him. I had him on my bench in one league. And
I picked him up 3 weeks ago. I think he said 2 20-point outings in those 3 weeks.
I've started him over Jordy Nelson for 3 weeks now.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson's droppable.
That's.
I don't even know if you can drop Jordy Nelson in some leagues.
Yeah, I haven't, but I just switched him.
After some point in the year, you can drop him.
Cameron Brate with Jameis Winston coming back. Cooper Kupp. Josh Gordon.
Jameis Winston, if you didn't already pick him up, because a lot of people dropped him.
Yeah. Mike Davis, the running back for Seattle. Kenyon Drake, if he's available.
Kenyon Drake killed it Sunday.
Chase's guy, Nelson Aguilar, he's still available in about 40% of leagues.
He should at least be 80% owned, and that should have been a few weeks ago.
Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise Goodwin, I like that one.
Yeah, with Garoppolo, San Francisco gets a lot better.
Let's see. Damian Williams, so a lot of people dropped him. He's on his way back.
Matt Breida's probably an ad, too.
Matt Forte. Mike Wallace. Jermaine Kearse. These are all guys that, you could pick up and plug them in if you have to. Here's a name that a lot of people are going to be trying to pick up this week. Payton Barbour.
Yeah,
Tampa Bay.
He's been dominating that snap count.
You guys want to win your playoffs? Start anybody against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Or Tampa Bay.
And you'll win a Shiva Bowl.
Hey, so we talked about football this entire way, and I didn't ask a question. So my question is, did you guys go see Justice League?
No.
My God.
Chase wanted to, but I've heard nothing but bad things about it, and I have concerts and other movies coming up, and I was like, I'd rather not.
Oh my God.
I was actually planning on seeing it until I talked to everybody about it. And
I don't know who you talk to that you would value their opinion over mine when it comes to comic books.
Yeah, but you haven't seen it. They've seen the movie, and they said it was shit.
I saw it.
Okay, a lot of people that...
Tiffany told me it was crap. Y'all told me it was crap. Glenn told me it was
Glenn told me it was all right. He told me,
and that Ben Affleck was the worst part of it.
And here's the thing. Comic books don't always cross over into movies. But in
Marvel
order to,
does.
Marvel have been great at doing movies.
I can sit there and throw out 3 animated Marvel movies that follow the comic books for Thor Ragnarok, where even for Planet Hulk and all that they completely butchered for that. But they
made for good movies, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying they got everything perfectly right. Number one. Number two, I'm already upset with the new Avengers movie.
Why?
The way they're doing
Thanos. No.
Thanos, yeah. The way they're doing Thanos, I don't like it.
Why?
Why do you like it?
Because that's how Thanos is.
I don't like the way the character looks.
That's how he looks.
No, that's not how he looks.
Oh my God, yes it is, dude.
We've got a Thanos discrepancy argument right now.
Man,
the way they're doing him in
Thanos was one of my favorite
in the trailer is terrible. And it doesn't look like he kills the Avengers like he did in the comics.
While you're looking it up, I'll give you my Justice League.
I want him to crush them like he did in the comics. This is only
the first movie. They're going to do multiple Infinity War movies. They have to. There's so much that happens that they're going to make it into a trilogy. They have to.
They don't have to.
They're going to
because
it's such a cash cow.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more than one.
I want him to completely obliterate the Avengers like he did in the comics.
There he is when you first see Thanos.
Maybe he just looks weird with his helmet off. But he looked not good in the movie, in the trailer.
I thought it was a great translation of it. It's not like the way Fox did Apocalypse in X-Men Apocalypse.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of that.
They screwed that up. I was mad about that one.
Does anybody remember what the question was? Because I don't.
Did you see Justice League?
Oh, never mind.
Listen, I saw Justice League, and I'll do my recap real quick. It was good.
No spoilers.
Yeah, I won't. It was good, and it's a way for them to bring in the people they need to do a continuation of a Justice League movie.
Okay, I haven't seen it.
You liked it.
I haven't seen it.
I will say Wonder Woman was better, but this one was entertaining, and it got to the point.
The thing is a lot of people were going into those DC movies expecting to see a MCU movie.
Yeah.
And the thing is, though, with that, is DC is a darker... Okay, so DC is... They're on a darker phase. And if you go back through, the history of all this, I was like, there was a good 10, 15 years where Marvel was on, the dark comics and all that, the grungy ones, and DC was the lighthearted ones. And they've kind of alternated through the years going like that. I mean, it's just... However, the MCU, they figured out how to make that money and appease all audiences. Where Justice League, they're really just trying to focus on... Oh, what? What, you going to go see it right now?
10 p.m. You want to go?
Dude, I can't. I got to go home and take care of you.
Okay.
I think that DC's best movie has been Wonder Woman. I thought that was an amazing, and what they did with Wonder Woman, the character in that movie, was awesome.
No, the Christopher Nolan Batmans were DC's best movies.
Those were good, too.
Actually...
It's the recent one.
Actually, if you want to talk about all of them, and this is, again... If you want to watch the best best comic book movies ever.
Man of
just
Steel
ever.
was pretty good.
Is actually 2 animated movies, and they're both owned by DC. And it's Justice League Flashpoint Paradox, which is probably one of the best. And the other one that, like, Glenn and I will have arguments about it. I think Batman Under the Red Hood is the best. If you haven't watched them, I know they're cartoons. They are phenomenal. In fact, in Batman Red Hood, they take one of my favorite scenes in comic book history, and it was because the readers got to vote on whether the Joker killed Robin or not. This was right before DC kind of had a dark phase. They actually sent out a poll and all that, and you had to write it down and mail it in and all this stuff. And
they got you involved.
Yeah, they got you involved, and it was like a landslide. 80% of the people said, "Yeah, let's kill off Robin." And they kill off Robin. And there was one frame in the comic books where you just see Batman cradling Robin's just dead corpse bleeding after the explosion. He's on his knees and he's just looking at Robin. You just see him limp in his arms. And they show that exact frame in the animated movie. And it's just yeah.
You see the new comics where Joker cuts off his own face?
Yeah, yeah. Apparently they did that on the show Gotham now too. They translated it from the comics onto Gotham.
Really?
Yeah. Because they brought the kid who killed the role, the kid who wasn't Jack Napier, Joker, and all that, it wasn't his name, he was in the circus and all that, wasn't Joker's traditional backstory. They weren't saying he was Joker or anything like that, but everybody loved the way he portrayed the Joker, that they actually brought him back and said he's a Joker now, for that show, in that universe, on the TV show Gotham. That's the Joker. And
I watched 4 or 5 episodes of Gotham. Absolutely loved it. And for some reason, I got caught up doing something else.
Yeah,
that kind of happened to me too. Because it's a great show, but it's not one that I have to watch it every week.
Yeah, I think I got through the first season.
Yeah,
and then I stopped watching it. But it was good. I enjoyed it.
Really good. I really love the casting. I really love the actors and that. They really do a good job.
It was good.
The main actor, I really that plays Jim Gordon.
Yeah,
I think he does a great job.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
I haven't watched any of the new seasons or anything like that. But
so go see Justice League, will you?
Oh, I will. All right, but I'm gonna see Star Wars before I see Justice League.
No,
I'm gonna get my tickets for Star Wars
15th, bro. It's the 4th already.
Yeah.
You got 11 days.
You have 11 days. You're not gonna see Justice League?
Probably not.
I will see Justice League before our next podcast.
I enjoyed it.
Okay,
before if you guys do on Friday, but probably
maybe Sunday. If you want to go on Sunday, maybe. But we'll probably play basketball, and you'll probably blow my knee out again.
I wanted to play basketball yesterday. We're driving to Wichita, and I was like, man, I kind of wish I was playing basketball.
I went and played.
Yeah,
yeah. I actually didn't do bad at all. My knee was feeling better, and I was sitting there. I was being really conservative, which is unlike me. I wasn't being aggressive in the first game we played.
You do terrible when you don't rush towards the rim.
I know, and then we were losing. We were playing to 15 and 4 to 12, and then we came back and won 15 to 13.
Man,
and I had 7 of those points. I
gotta start playing.
That's literally my strategy every time I play Chase is to try and wear him out. Play really tough defense, drive at him at the beginning of the games to try and wear him out quick. Because when I wear him out, he stops being aggressive and he stops going at the rim. Right,
jump shots
and
that go off the back.
And then I win. But because he's a very streaky shooter, he'll miss 50 in a row, and all of a sudden he'll make 10 in a row on 3-pointers. So every now and then it bites me in the ass, and he just starts draining threes. I'm like, really, dude? But when I tire him out, he'll just sit behind that 3-point line every time. We'll drive in.
Listen,
it's different though when it's 1v1 than when it's on a team. When we're playing 3v3, it seems like I have energy for days because I don't have to have the ball the whole time. I can step off and all that. I'll let people play 2-on-2.
I never run out of cardio except at the Pop Roach concert.
Oh yeah,
dude, I got
dude, I just start recently.
I told Dave
I'm off my cardio right now.
I told Dave if they play To Be Loved, which I didn't think they were gonna do, I was like, I don't care, I'm starting a mosh pit. And then they play To Be Loved. I was like, here we go, and I pushed Dave because that's how we started mosh pit. I push him, he pushes me. I push him, he pushes me, and I thought I immediately thought I'd feel someone behind me. No. I fell into a giant mosh pit. I was like, oh, you guys did all the work for us.
Nice. I'm in it. Yes.
Nice to be here. What's up?
That's great.
Hey, let's wrap up this international podcast. So who's closing this sucker down? All right, guys. That's another episode of the 816 Podcasting. Just want to remind us that check out our website, 816podcasting.com. We've got a few international friends out there that was great to see. I don't know what else we got.
This Friday, as long as everything goes as planned for me, I'm going to be writing a DFS article for this coming up weekend. Obviously, Thursday will not be on. It'll be Sunday's games, probably targeting most of the noon and afternoon games, and keep that in there so you can enter that millionaire maker with DraftKings. Also, guys, go out and join on Draft. We're going to start putting a
banner or a
link on our website. Go on there and click on it, and every time you all sign up, make sure you put that we referred you, and it helps us out. You can't play draft in Missouri yet because of certain reasons. However, you can play in Kansas, so if you're on the Kansas side or anywhere else, please go to draft and sign up.
Because reasons.
Yes.
Reasons.
Our promo code is 816. So when you sign up for draft, make sure you type in 816 in the promo code section.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate all love.
Peace.